Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to our Daily Clues with Sam. We have another hard one today. I hope it is harder than yesterday, but not as brutal as the tricky one from Thursday. So let's see how this goes. Is the 13th, but it's not Friday, so we are on the luck side here. And if you're new here, we play this game every day on the channel. It ranges in difficulty from easy to sometimes evil along the week, so that's why we have a hard one today. And in it, we have to figure out who is a criminal and who is an innocent using the clues that each person might give us. Nobody lies, so there's no guessing involved. There's no sort of tricks being played. Let's see how this goes as I solve and explain my logic. Let's start. With Will telling us that exactly 2 of the 4 criminals neighboring Oscar are in column C. Okay, Oscar has 3 people neighboring him in column C, and 2 of those are criminals. So let's say that those are Rob and Ike. That will make Mary, the third person neighboring Oscar in column C, an innocent, right? But we also know from Will that there's 4 criminals total neighboring Oscar. And Oscar has 5 people neighboring him. So we need 2 more besides the two ones. The two ones? Both ones in column C. So that makes Jerry and Stella those 2 because they are the only people left. So Jerry and Stella are both criminals. And I guess I'm gonna leave Will's school there highlighted. So we remember that Ike or Rob or Mary are an innocent. Now Jerry says that there are exactly 2 innocents above Xavier. Okay, so if we remember our tags here, we know that there's 1 innocent only neighboring Oscar, and all 3 people neighboring Oscar are above Xavier. There's 1 more person above him, Deborah, so she has to be the second innocent, so we figured that out. We don't need Jerry's clue now. Stella says there's an odd number of innocents neighboring Jerry. Where's Jerry? Jerry here. So Jerry has either 3 people neighboring him or just 1 who are innocents, correct? We just don't know who those are yet. But he shares Ike and Mary with Oscar. Now Deborah says that Ziad is one of 2 innocents in column D, so we have 1 innocent here, and we're gonna have a second innocent neighboring Jerry, because the other 2 people in column D who need to be revealed are neighboring Jerry, and we know that one of them has to be the second innocent in column D. So that makes Jerry have currently, why am I using the lower tags? Upper tags, simple tags. Jerry has a second innocent here, right? The first one is Deborah. The second one is either going to be Esha or Oscar, who are in column D, which means that Jerry has to have 3 innocents neighboring him to have an odd number. So we know now that either Ike or Mary are that third innocent, and it couldn't be both. That both are innocents, both because Jerry would have too many innocents and because Oscar would have too many innocents neighboring him. But since we know now that the single innocent that neighbors Oscar is here, and it's either Ike or Mary, that makes Rob a criminal. And we don't need Deborah's school anymore, or Tia's school. No, Stella's school. Is it? Yeah. So Tia says there's only 1 innocent in between Kevin and Oscar. Okay, so that makes Logan and Mary opposites because they are the 2 people between Kevin and Oscar. Only one of those 2 is an innocent. So the other person with the same color is gonna be the opposite of what they are, a criminal. And we don't need to see at school anymore because of the tag. Rob says that only one of the 5 criminals neighboring Ike's Claire's neighbor. So Ike shares Deborah and Hank with Claire, and only one of those is a criminal. One of them is already an innocent, as Deborah, so the only one has to be the criminal. And we also get from that clue that there's 5 criminals total neighboring Ike. Ike has 2 criminals so far, Jerry and Hank. He's gonna have a third one here in column D, shared with Jerry. And he's gonna have a 4th one here in row 3, who's either Logan or Mary, in between Kevin and Oscar. So we need a 5th. And the 5th one has to be Claire, the only person left. Now, Claire says that Kevin is one of Kita's 4 criminal neighbors, so we know that Kevin is a criminal, and Kita, so far, like Ike, has 2, and is gonna have a 3rd one here in row 3. Now, Kevin says that Kita is one of his 3 instant neighbors. So Kita is an instant and Kevin has 5 people neighboring him. 3 of them have to be instant. So 2 more that we have to find. Have I read Hank School? Only one instant pilot has an instant directly to the right of them. So that depends on which pilots are instant. Rob is a pilot, but he's not instant. There's another 2 pilots on the border, Sina and Xavi. So if any of those is an instant, they are gonna be an instant with an instant to their right, because both Xavi and Sina have instants to their rights. So that makes them opposites actually, because they couldn't both be innocents, since that will make 2 instants with an instant to their rights who are pilots. So now we know that they are opposites and that Kita has 1, 2, 3, 4 criminals neighboring her, which is the total that Claire mentions. Kita has 4 criminal neighbors. So Penny, who also neighbors Kita, is definitely not a criminal because we already know her 4 criminals are here in row 3, in row 5, and Rob. So Penny is an innocent. We don't need Claire's clue anymore now because of the tags. Penny says that Claire has exactly 2 instant neighbors. So Claire has Deborah as an instant neighbor. She's gonna have a second one and last one. Could be anybody. We know that Flora and Logan are opposites actually because... Oh, how is this gonna work? Not enough colors for tags. Imagine if these were RGB and you could just put whatever color, but then it'd be a mess trying to get approximate colors. I'm just venting. So I don't need Hank's school anymore because I tagged Tina and Xavi. We don't need a Will school because there's tags as well. We know now that Kevin's third and last innocent neighbor is either gonna be Flora or Logan, so that's why I tagged them. And I think we're gonna have a chain here because let's say that Logan is an innocent. If he's an innocent, it's gonna make both Flora and Mary criminals. Mary being a criminal makes Ike an innocent. That gives Claire her second innocent neighbor and last one. If Logan is the opposite, if Logan is a criminal, he's gonna make both Mary and Flora innocents and Ike a criminal. But the important thing is, there's no way for both Flora and Ike to be criminals, because whichever of them is an innocent makes Logan a criminal, which makes the other one a criminal. And whichever one is a criminal makes Logan an innocent, which makes the other one an innocent. That's not what I said. Because we gotta put Mary into the equation here. So whichever one of these is a criminal makes Logan an innocent, which makes Mary a criminal, which makes the other one an innocent, and vice versa. Oh, I hope this is understandable, but I don't think it is. What matters is that we know that Flora and Ike are opposites, which makes Alice a criminal. Let me tag these guys again. This is the tag I'm looking for. Alice now says there's an equal number of criminals in rows 2 and 3. So we know how many criminals are there in row 3, do we not? We do, right? We know how many criminals are in row 2, there's 3. Because Hank and Jerry, and we know that Flora and Ike are opposites. So that's 3, which makes row 3 need 3 criminals. And that makes, since Logan and Mary are opposites as well, that's 2. That makes Oscar a criminal. So we can have 3 in row 3. So we know that Oscar is a criminal, which makes Asha an innocent. We don't need Alice's clue anymore, so we click it. Now Asha says there are more innocent builders and innocent pilots. We know there's 1 innocent pilot only, so we need 2 innocent builders. Where are all the builders? There's Flora and Mary. Any other builders? No. But that means that we need Logan to be a criminal because there's the only way that Flora and Mary both can be innocents, right? So Logan is a criminal and Mary was opposites with Ike. So Ike is a criminal. Had to remind myself of what Mary was there. Mary now says there are exactly 3 innocents in the corners. One of them is Esha, the other one is Ziad, so we need a third one, and that has to be Tina, which is opposites with Xavier. Okay. Didn't get any yellows. That was fun. Almost had a lot of yellows there. Very hard to explain things today. But a lot of fun. Very nice, very short. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As for me and live streaming, again, this week there's not gonna be any live streaming. I'm gonna make a community post on that, and I gotta figure out how to announce stuff on Twitch. I don't know how to do that, but I'm announcing it here for everybody that gets to the end of the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Clues by Sam. Bye bye.